It looks like during capitalism, someone can just have it all. Have the entire crown for themselves. Not without hard work, Mr. Beast has improved his content significantly multiple times, and kind of continues to do so. He's not stopping. I don't even know if we're gonna be privileged to have Mr. Beast drama this year. Looks pretty dire situation, guys. Without drama, how are we gonna put him down? So unfortunately, we'll have to deliver some copium against all these people who have things that you don't have. All right, how do you cope? I think the quick answer is esteem. As long as you have esteem, you should be able to survive any situation that you're in, right? With any mindset or personality that you have at the same time. All you have to do is take care of yourself and make yourself happy, right? And look towards the future. Live in the future, not in the present moment, which might actually suck, you know? You could be even in jail. Why would you live in the present moment in jail? Kind of sucks, bro. We won't be able to avoid the topic of capitalism, which I grind every fucking video at this point. Here's one interesting fella.
I've dated guys who are multimillionaires. I've dated guys who are broke. Let me tell you something. How much money a man has zero correlation with how much they will take care of you or how much you're going to enjoy dating them. To be honest, I know it's not what a lot of y'all want to hear, but hear me out, okay? Some dudes will have $10 and they will give you the whole $10. Some dudes will have $10 million and they will look at you twice if you want a popsicle, literally.
We're not done yet. We're gonna listen to the whole thing, but you can see the esteem is that the thing that makes the difference. This is just a number. And you could have actually exploited other people. You could have put people into slavery in order to get that money. It doesn't matter how much money you have and even how many subs you have. That could be disqualified as you have cheated your way to the top. We don't know that, and this is the most important thing. We would have to consider that Mr. Beast is trying the new strategy of being a worldwide YouTuber, you know, translating himself in every language and trying to appeal to the widest audience possible. I don't think there's a problem with that. It's just, it's hard to beat, you know? It's the most basic strategy there is of grinding the number go up. But again, these numbers are not going to tell how morally correct a person is. In fact, if you are rich, probably people not gonna like you as much. Especially if you're not giving anything away.
So, I would say really keep in mind just someone's attitude. Are they a kind and generous person with their friends?
The funny thing is, most women probably do care about the money amounts, unfortunately. And make me feel insecure, you know? Because, like, how do I approach women? Like, actually. You have to tell me. You know, you have to set the rules. So I am successful at approaching women. So I have esteem approaching women. Because I can't possibly fail, you know? Otherwise, if I can fail, if I can just be rejected, ain't gonna fucking happen. I ain't gonna have women either, right? Disqualified from morality. So you can see there's a certain thing that you have to have, and also it's very difficult to get subs, by the way. Let me tell you something, you know? Now that I have been around YouTube for long enough, I've got my share of haters, right? And haters try to like peel off your reputation as much as possible, especially when you're still low in subscribers. They want to make sure that you get nothing, you know? There are generally disgusting people in the bottom more so than there are in the top. All right? It's just people in the top try to justify themselves that they're not evil in the bottom, so they're fine. Also doing immoral things, and it's just like it's a It's a messy system. So subcount almost goes the opposite way. The less you have, the more moral you are. It is the same feeling as with the money. If a person is rich, like, where are they gonna spend the money to make it actually to prove that they are genuine human beings? How do you do this? Because these numbers, they don't tell the whole story. Whether you're single or not doesn't tell the whole story. All of a sudden, so what do we do? You know, because the funny thing is the world has opened up through the internet, right? Now we're interconnected, where we're seeing the other cultures around the world, and we try to judge people through how much money they have. It usually like takes effort, right? It still takes effort to have this, right? And we base the entire world and open up the world of capitalism based on what do people have. But people can have culture too, right? That's an interesting thing. And we're kind of discussing things to the point where the next step is going to be like, okay, that's what you have. That's what you have. But what can you give? Right? What can you give to other people? That's going to be the next shift of consciousness, right? Like we want to get something. Don't want to be just left behind and feel like we're poor all the time. I'm not poor, by all means. I'm not poor. I'm not rich though, but I should not be torn apart by people who have more, right? I definitely will survive looking at people who have more, all right? And even sometimes I put myself in a situation where I'm like a black star, which is equivalent to stars that get to influence you right now. How can I fucking possibly put myself in their shoes? Well, first of all, Mr. B shows up in my dream like a subscription every month. At this point, I kind of don't care anymore. Which I hate that, because I have to care to get the subscription going, you know? I don't know how dreams work, but I feel like you have to care. Second of all, it's like I'm doing genuine work that pays me $0, and I feel like I'm cheating the system at the same time, you know, where everyone is judging everyone else by the amount of dollars. I am doing something that gives me $0. I get zero progress. Nobody fucking resonates with even these videos in particular. Nobody cares to watch these. So I guess I have to be winning somehow. So maybe I am cheating the system. I'm making myself invisible until people stop judging others by how much money they have. The moment that happens, you know, the black star gets to shine at some point. At some point, the black star awakens and shows the true potential. How about that? Sounds good, right? Sounds like there is a reason to equate myself. Also, I just review the celebrities, and they don't always do the right thing, you know? And even NPCs get to flex what they have. They can have children, can have pets, they can have cars, jobs, relationships, blah blah blah. Usually, it comes with a dark side of, like, even having a car. You always comes with a dark side. You have to maintain that shit. You have to know how to drive that shit. You have to go through basically a lot of steps to properly even own a car. And it's like, why would you own a car? It's just a transport mode. You know, why would you own it? Just to place it in a convenient place? And it's not even convenient to place the car. Parking is also complicated. Everything about cars is broken. So having a car makes no sense in most situations. You just wait until there's better technology. So, you know, you have these luxury vehicles, but you have to put them in a luxury fucking garage that nobody can break into. Uh, just the world is so unstable. I don't want to have anything, personally. Hopium number one, having things is hard and probably not worth it. Even for Mr. Beast, like, he has the YouTube channel, but he has to focus 100% on, you know, doing just that. And every time he goes into podcast, he has to only talk about himself. That's all he has, basically. He has 100% focus, and even his smile is not real. It is just a projection of what people want to see, basically. It is potentially void of any soul or, God forbid, morality. Have you not seen Beast Games? Beast Games giving people hundreds of dollars, bro, so just so they can leave the show. Go from through that door, thank you very much. Yeah, you got your money. Go through that door. Yeah, the game is over, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You take the money. Yeah, that was a fucking bummer. So yeah, potentially that's where communism turned into capitalism, into people having things. The moment communism invented itself, communism, it's always going to be there as a little bit reminder that communism existed, that we learned how to communicate properly, and now we're here. Internet, right? This leap in technology has leaped us from just communicating with each other to communicating across the world. That's a big fucking difference, right? And we're gonna make just as big of a difference very soon when we shift from having and giving. You can already see on TikTok the trend of, like, let me mow your lawn just for views. It's gonna be free for you. Don't worry about it. And it's like, wow, I just get to sit like a fucking clown who has problems, and someone else is going to solve my problems for free, and he's going to make content out of it, and everyone will be slightly satisfied. You know, everyone is happy in the end. It's the like perfect version of giving, and there's definitely going to be more of this, or potentially more variations of the same thing, right? You have a problem, someone fixes you, makes content out of it, bam, slam, everyone's happy. Potentially, we could even like create some kind of democracy, the viewership democracy. Who knows? But the future is bright, and there's no reason to be jealous. No reason to be jealous or empty inside. That, oh shit, this guy has more friends than you. That female looks too beautiful. Like you can't have that. You will never be able to have her. But maybe you could.
Their family, their time. Do they want to take care of you? And taking care of someone is not just financial. Sometimes it's emotional. Sometimes you're sick, you just want some comfort. Come tuck me in. Like, some people have that in them and some don't. And to be honest, a lot of people have money just because they are selfish and they want to hoard it and they don't want to spend on others. And so sometimes it hurts me to hear people just prioritize like a dollar amount that someone has as if there's any correlation between that and their character as a person. Though, this is just my personal opinion. So take of it what you will.
I'll take all of it. All of it is great. It's just a stunning realization that rich people probably not good for you, because they have focused on actually getting return on investment. That was also mentioned. What's in it for me? And they might actually not know what's in it for them. Like, haven't you gone in for dates? Like, you have to spend as much time with women as possible. That's the whole fucking bargain. Again, smart people do live in a different kind of mindset. Capitalism is not satisfying. Alright, let's begin the journey. I'll start digging because I have all this material already. They can have popularity, money, and just straight up establishment. Establishment sounded a little bit weird. Like, what is establishment? Well, that's what you extract from your friends and your fans. They create a stability structure of like, wow, your channel is never gonna go down. There's enough fans that will keep it together. And most importantly, there's also enough like technical people who will boost your channel, like editors, people who give you tips, people who construct your room to be as efficient as possible, people who help you with your thumbnails. Like, there's countless amount of help you can actually acquire to create an establishment. Because if you're earning money, now you can reinvest into your establishment. That's the word. That's the magical word. In this case, dominating a platform like YouTube. Is that one more bit of sand? So yeah, I feel like there's a special mind state where you have to bounce the jealousy off of you. Is the high esteem mindset. And again, the fact that you can be equal with the most popular and richest people out there. You can still connect to them, right? Because that's the whole point. That's what humans are supposed to do. Communication can connect you with anyone. Fucking Chemical X, bro. You will never know. Who can you connect to? Who wants to connect with you? You will never know until that is happening out there. And whatever they have, they might end up sharing. You know? That is the most, the best ending ever, right? Whatever they have, they will share with you. You will have that too. Slowly, you will, trust each other and live a life together in harmony without needing to be jealous of each other. So while right now the world is pretty fucking weird, and you might end up lusting money because that just solves all the problems, don't forget that you can solve your problems without money too. It's called skill. We need to actually develop in our brains, and we had at the same time. You always pick and choose what you want. And a lot of people are kind of like paralyzed, frozen, and you always have to pick and choose. If you choose to have a car, there's going to be problems attached to having a car. There's going to be problems attached to having a child, problems attached to having a relationship, problems attached to having pets and whatever, right? Having comes with problems and responsibilities. Sometimes it's just not a good idea. Which is why I immediately want to promote the easiest thing that you can have is esteem and skill. Usually boost the esteem. That's just something everyone can have. Everyone is surrounded by things that they can master, by people they can understand better. We can socialize across the internet and we can understand people better. If you understand what Mr. Beast is up to, maybe you can better yourself to, adopt some principles that work and try to avoid the potential inevitable fall of Mr. Beast at the same time. Another thing, you have a personality, so you have to master that. You already have things. You already have to have parents or something resembling parents. So you have that. You should be able to have a starting point and be able to grow from there. However, of course, the world is full of leeches and people who want to make money out of you. And now you have to have skill of avoiding failure. Absolutely. And don't worry about it. We don't know if it's even possible to have $1 billion without exploiting humans, without crushing your own moral systems into you're disqualified from being a normal human being anymore. We don't know if that's possible. We can only communicate with numbers right now. Don't worry too deeply of whether you will get $1 million within your lifetime or not. Just know that you need happiness and that the future is probably going to be better because you will have more skill. Unless, you give up. Unless you end up killing yourself instead of skilling yourself. That's a whole different world then. No, don't give up. That's the point. And potentially everything grows exponentially. If you give up here, you don't get to taste this. And all this is not a fucking mountain to climb. This is just how skills grow. You go, you push, and the result becomes evident for more and more people. It takes time for people to turn their heads and be like, hey, what is that guy doing? You know? And also it takes time for you to find your perfect position to where most people can appreciate you. That's the toughest part. That's what takes the longest amount of time, just positioning yourself to where most people can understand you very quickly and appreciate you very quickly. And you must constantly search for that magical spotlight, basically. Obviously, after you grow your esteem, you don't want to flop under a spotlight, but potentially you don't get just one chance. Anyways, right? So, the world is complicated. I can't possibly explain all of it. I'm just trying to give you matrices to boost you into thinking that everything's possible. It just might not be too obvious right now. You know, not everyone is successful in whatever you define as success. That's the game. To me, it's a game of absolute insanity. Most smart people are not going to play the game. Because the funny thing is, about playing the game, capitalism can end and steal all your money, nullify all your havings, all your property might just... Yeah. Even capitalism, and absolutely capitalism, can just rug pull you and take all your shit. The moment ownership is not cool enough anymore, oops, it might just own your shit all of a sudden. Like, there's already squatting going on. Squatting rights. Like, what the fuck is that? So yeah, right now in the end of capitalism, we're challenging capitalism in so many ways, in every way imaginable. If you actually follow the story of the fall of capitalism every year, you would have such a coherent, multi-layer story. Like, it happens every year. You don't need to be subscribed to Netflix to enjoy it. It is incredible. It's incredible. You never know. Of like, oh, pandemic can hit capitalism. Oh, war can hit capitalism. Oh, people can just invade your country because they want money. Like, all these factors can destroy capitalism so easily. Oh, a billionaire might infuriate a person and he gets shot. And now we have to, like, comprehend of, like, a billionaire can get shot in the face? Yes. That's possible, guys. Whoopsie doopsie. Games are pretty brutal. One let robots replace you. Yeah, that's the funny thing. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't make you bulletproof. Oh, oops. Or I was just gonna kick. Don't listen to this motherfucker. I am bulletproof. I am Batman. Fuck. Some of them can be bulletproof. Iron Man, I think, is also just a billionaire. Fuck, man. They're learning. A billionaire cannot fucking stand a chance against having great principles. That's what matters the most. Do you really think Mr. Beast has great principles? Yeah, if you want to dominate YouTube. Some of them, yeah, specifically for YouTube domination, for number domination. Probably good principles for that. Fame and power on YouTube. He has them. You know, he has. The last time I had problems with Mr. Beast was when he was inviting 50 other YouTubers, but at the same time, it was like the biggest video ever. It's hard to have problems with Mr. Beast, unfortunately. I did enjoy latest video, not too much, but everything it's fine. For himself. It's fine. He completed his game. But the funny thing is, although it does follow like a very predictable formula, it's always going to be there. But he's going to sit there and flex. That's the day that people start losing patience. He did flex this, all right? I have basically a wife, I guess. Like, are they going to get married soon? But, and I put her through romantic dates. Even though this probably should go from 500,000 to $1, you know? It should go the opposite way. You definitely don't need big price to live the fucking script. $1, guys. You started with $1. You should end with $1. The stronger your love grows, the less money you need. But no, it is literally that relationships are a conflict to Mr. A relationship is just one video. Look at me, I monetized my relationship. Just like relationships. Just like relationships are a conflict to capitalism. A lot of people are busy. A lot of people just don't want to go outside and because there's nothing. So yeah, if relationships are compromised, then guess what? Sharing is not that easy. We can see Mr. Beast inevitably shares his money with his friends. Like, that is just inevitable. If you are close to Mr. Beast and he likes you, he's gonna let you have some crazy shit, you know? but he probably also wants you for the entire ride. How long it's gonna last, who knows? But he wants you for as long as people like you. But that's what it is. It's just very simple sharing. People can even have relationship with Mr. Beast. Who would have thought, right? So relationship with anyone is possible. That is the quickest way of skipping not having into having things, and potentially translating your morals and principles and ability to love other human beings into having your dreams come true. I don't know. To do. There's no way to socialize things. Sometimes you're actually going to be gaslit into thinking that celebrities are, all of them are rich, but
and be social at the same time. Like, holy shit. We also hear stories about celebrities. They're kind of antisocial, and some of them are not even rich. You know, you saw the face on the TV, but they're not rich. They're still struggling. They're still just actors. You know, they're still just working their ass off. And if they don't get the acting gigs, they're gonna go into, you know, retail, bro. For me, Piper was the moment when I started realizing that. But there's more discussion of this happening. I don't know. People want to be silent about it, or what? Because yeah, the top, the best of the best, the most attractive people, they get a lot. They get everything. They get to fucking decide the future. They get to own things for the longest of time. Now, things are probably going to change when capitalism collapses and having things are no longer going to be the most hip thing ever, right? What is going to be the next thing? Giving. Give. To give. Now, you're not going to get just whatever the fuck you want. You're going to get whatever
what can AI give
you are
for
given,
me?
right? If you are given a job, you gotta have to take a job. So, right. You must be able to give. That's a power move. Giving is going to be the next thing, right? Just like in TikToks go viral because you give people a free lawn mowing service or whatever. Free service, let's put it that way. This thing that a person needed but probably can't pay for it, probably doesn't want to fucking deal with that shit, probably already gave up or whatever. So you give it to them. And this is going viral. This is growing, this whole thing, and it will take over. Giving is going to defeat the having, all right? Right now, having is still important.
Yeah, the most powerful thing is to solve someone's problems and give them a new life. It's like good old pimp my ride moment, but it's gonna come to life for once.
All right, still the dominant thing. Still the only thing we understand because I've been abandoned. And I'm seeing on a TikTok again someone is going viral by like buying a cheap house far away from their home place and starting a whole new life, finding friends easily. Everyone is working together. It's like, wow, that's pretty fucking badass. Giving is becoming trendy, and you might want to jump on the trend as soon as it's peaking. You know, like you don't want to be left behind. Now you would.
You don't want to be stuck with having things and clinging onto what you have. Running to countries where having is still illegal. Wow. And then you're gonna be as poor as North Korean with their fucking communism intact.
Yes.
Lol.
Mr. Beast
Everyone wants to run away from communism now.
is giving people stuff. And I would say not really.
Yeah, I don't know how many places still have communism intact, but I don't think they're good places. I'm just saying. Yes. Yes, Russia probably also has that shit. Not gonna lie. They're kind of exposing themselves. They can't finish their stupid war. They can't give up.
To show that I have a bunch of stuff.
Ugh.
But I do have.
They can't give up, you know? They don't know what giving is about. They only just have, you know? I have to take over that land, no matter what.
Give, right?
Whoopsies.
Mr. Beast thinks if I have to give things for free, all right, there has to be something in return, and people have to understand that shit. That, you know, this is a process. Like you can see, I upload videos. I'm better off exploring the concept out loud, and potentially people will.
Yeah, there still has to be a return for my giving. Even if I want to give something for free, it's best for me to prioritize giving to people who want to give something in return. So it's not going to be just free, and potentially a lot of stuff is going to be more expensive than usual. I mean, the most obvious one is like you probably won't be able to just freely annoy me on Discord. I will only focus on people who have paid money to annoy me on Discord. Then we're talking. You want my attention? Pay me some respect, right?
Realize that I'm giving them something valuable. Right now they don't realize because it's all about having. Like, what do you want? What do you want from me, bro? Why are you saying this, bro? Why attacking this creator? Why doing this and that, bro? They pick on your mistakes because I'm not giving them anything to look at of like all the good shit that I have, right? Because I don't have. All right, go look somewhere else. You know, I'm not about having things. I'm preparing for a different kind of life, right? I'm not interested in showing what I have. Even if I could have Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, some bullshit stuff like this, like I'm not gonna do that, guys. I'm not gonna do that because well, it never sticks to me. It's not part of my identity. I just ended up not having anything besides thoughts and ideas, right? Something that does not impress anyone, so they move on. Because thoughts and ideas are not fast enough to be like a vivid enough, like a having. If I can have a thought about anything. I can have a thought of burying you alive, or shooting fireworks from my fingers. I don't know. I can have all kinds of ideas and all kinds of thoughts that work for me personally. So until I actually apply it to real life, I don't actually have anything. So thoughts and ideas don't really work out for smart people, unfortunately. It works out for people who want to have stuff, and kind of population resonates with that, right? So if you film a video of like, I have this, I have done this, I have done that, you become slowly popular because people kind of like want you to make bigger and crazier things, and Mr. Beast kind of caught onto that trend much closer to the core essence of that trend than anyone else, right? He figured out how it works. Even if
One esteem booster that I'll always give to people is just upload something. You know, something that defines you, something that defines your ideas. Just be present on social media. That's a big fucking heaven right there. Again, you can't be the best, but at least have something. Please.
I might have figured out too, you know, at this point. Of like, people want to see you do crazy shit, and they're willing to give 1 penny at a time, even if it's viewership. But they will watch it, they will click it because you have something, right? And it's like you can have even more, and it's like even more worthy to watch that shit unfold. But what is Mr. Beast gonna give? Because when giving is irrelevant, knowledge can be given so fast, so efficiently. That's where we would start, you know. And some people might even start seeing of like that's Jesus right there. That's where religion comes in. You know, religion gives so fast. Like the knowledge is what matters the most when it comes to giving. So people will be open eventually to watch my videos. They're not open right now. While Mr. Beast is dominating YouTube, and if we find out that Mr. Beast's personality is just completely void of ability to be a real human being, or just a person who is clean enough to have every piece of the pie that you can possibly have, all right, if that's who you are, your story will end soon enough. At this point, Mr. Beast matured so fast that I am older than Mr. Beast, like 6 years older, and I feel like a baby. Like, I don't get to mature. I don't get to socialize. I don't get to do things because I don't fucking have, you know? But at the same time, the first coping mechanism you need is to understand people like having things others see, you know? And Mr. Beast does it exactly for that one reason. So you see it, and then he moves on. That was just a video. That was just a stunt. It's for you to see. It's not for me to have. I'm going to live in this little room, basically, and be prepared to have more stuff, right? And I have the eagerness to dominate YouTube forever and ever. Yeah? But does YouTube have eagerness to let you dominate? No. No, they won't have that eagerness. Don't worry about that, Mr. Beast. And eventually these numbers, they will die. Those numbers will no longer mean anything. Because it won't actually reveal whether you can give to people or not. Like, yes, I have 2 million subscribers, right? Can I give to people now that I have 2 million subscribers, or am I greedy bastard now that I have a lot of power? If I become greedy bastard, well, that shit shuts down. This gate can shut down for a lot of people who are unable to give nothing. Giving is that power of the government, basically. Well, they can give you medication and give you diarrhea. They can give you bad things too. I'm sorry, bro. Give you mandates, tougher rules to follow. They can give you bad shit too. Isn't that it? Like, did we hope about other people having things? Not really. There's a lot of more people than just Mr. Beast having 2 numbers. There's other people who have things and potentially can piss me off. Of like, they might have broken my heart. Oops, how should I feel about that? And in fact, a lot of people can do that. A lot of people have broken you. Very likely, all right? They accidentally have something that they probably shouldn't have. Unless you gave it to them just recklessly, right? You have to spread your attention as much as possible and not just break your heart on every single person you meet. It's just like handing out 50 roses to random women, and maybe something happens. If it doesn't happen, change your strategy and do something that could still work, right? You're running around handing roses. But the funny thing is, if we want to play by the rules of the game, giving is not the thing, right? You have to learn how to have things, like have confidence, have athleticism, right? Have bravery. Like, bravery is really important because it's right there. Brave. It's inside the word have. Basically the same thing. And you have to be brave to have things, to own things. Because that shit can fall apart any moment, and your bravery keeps it all together. Of like, ownership is important, so you protect ownership for the time being. Everyone knows, we all know that rich are gonna be under attack at some point. We can't just stay like this forever, bro. Especially when we're receiving power, and we eager to just equalize the playfield a little bit, where things make sense again. But let's continue. All right, so having is the trendy thing, and you can have a lot of stuff, including inner values. But we can just call it skills. That's pretty important. Skills. You can have skills, or you can have other people with skills. What do you choose? Having other people with skills is a lot easier. It's a good shortcut. But having actual skills will require a little bit of self-work. This is technically the core of having anything at all, because even bravery is a skill. And it's like the most fundamental skill of holding esteem in general. Understanding what makes you feel better and less vulnerable to other people's bad intentions. What makes you more safe, more productive, and more capable of not giving in, but rather focusing on having. So one copium thing is that obviously this will end eventually, and people won't want to have things anymore. They want to do the other thing now. They want to give the excess amount of shit that they have. accumulating. It's time to give. Like, it's the new phase. But a lot of stuff that you don't need, and potentially people will give, like, their free labor even, their time and care. There's going to be a lot of nice things to happen. But yeah, the first thing that's going to happen is this is going to be over. This can't last forever.
Let's take this on a perspective, right? He has the ability to travel the world, while the other people are giving him things, right? So you get to see the bridge between having and giving. They're sort of like in respect of each other. They're sort of equal while he's going through it. We care equally about the guy as we care about our own cultures, basically. Of what did we give to him? That's kind of like an interesting thing, right?
Having mentality or number explains everything mentality. Nah, bro. We are going to shy away from that very soon. The second copium thing, having skills is permanent. It's more important than having material things, right? And again, having esteem, the most fundamental value. Esteem to hold goodness in general, right? To not be corrupted easily. By a threat of potentially might lose money. Of like, what do you do then if you lose money? So you must recognize that other people have material things, but they probably don't have time to develop skills. That's the fucking difference. This is where you need to boost your self-esteem, where you need to focus.
Yeah, you should never be financially fooled into not getting the proper skills. Especially if you adopt an immoral principles, you'll be caught so quickly. Your web of lies will fall apart when people don't just want to see you have things, but want to see you give things. And then the real question will become like, what these YouTubers gave to the people? Like, are these just drama YouTubers? Are these people who are causing trouble and essentially becoming havers because views give them a lot of money, you know, and they just buy a bunch of things and look what I have. With this, there's a lot of ways to cheat the system, but eventually we're going to establish another way to cash these. Maybe there's a perpetual cycle here too, where the giver's going to give everything away, then whatever they get, they give everything away again. Just they become the 100% givers. I don't know. I just know that money has a perpetual cycle of the more money you have, the more money you're able to generate. The more popularity you have, the more popularity you're able to generate.
And
or
while people are busy
sustain.
driving cars, while people are busy talking to their friends about some fucking TV show that doesn't matter, doing what they see, they can go home and solve puzzles, learn programming. That's a big skill that I just dumped on a previous video. Talk to AI, learn facts, learn how to decipher truth from false, learn how to bait as many haters as you can possibly bait into telling you that they don't like you, but they don't have a good reason to dislike you. So off you go. There's many, many skills, and technically I should want to list all of them, but at the same time, every single max stats episode is a skill. It's a very specific skill, and this time it's coping while people are playing the game of having. Coping, understanding that you can have skills, and you can continue working on that shit, even if it doesn't result in
Coping so you're not tormented by
you
jealousy.
automatically being employed, loved, or conjuring better parents for yourself, or better children for yourself. You're not going to conjure that shit out of thin air until people actually notice you, until people give attention. If they only have things, then what do you have to do? You must attack what they have. You must fucking shake that fucking money tree. Maybe something drops down on the ground. Maybe their esteem is going to drop, and they're going to be like, yeah, we can share. We can share this and that. You can come to my party. I have this party. You can come to my party. See, that's how you get things. You don't get things by being given to. You get things by getting closer to people who have stuff, right? Even someone who's running a kiosk, right? You get closer to those people.
Yes. Listen very closely. Only you're not gonna get things. No one's gonna give you things. It's not trendy right now. It is only in the small pockets of the world. What you have to do in order to attract success is you have to adopt the strategy of getting close to people who have things. Just get close to where people are having things. This is why cities are a trendy thing. People go to cities to get as close as they can possibly get to those who have things, right? That should be a strategy. That's the thing that I cracked into of like, yes, capitalism is about this one word. And the closer you get to that one word, the more successful you're going to be. Now, still, I have fears and doubts and all that fucking sludge basically inside me. I don't want to walk towards someone who has things. But maybe I have to change my mind a little bit about this. I don't know. You see, I have a very closed loop of a routine, and I'm I'm happy with this. I know that walking would make me exhausted. I have so many things to do already, and I don't have a target in mind. Even when I went to farmers market, I wasn't able to feel the good vibes of cheap products being exchanged and people being happier there. No, I was miserable picking up berries that is still overpriced.
To people who have stuff, right? Even someone who is running a kiosk, right? You get closer to those people, they have shit. Again, I don't want to burn myself. I already have a clear direction of improving my skills. Like, I don't want to taint my life. But if you feel like you need that shit, if you need to surround yourself with people who have things and you have the ability to do that, then fuck it, you know? Continue. Please continue. I can't do that personally. All right. And most importantly, again, you are close to a person like me. I have thoughts.
The moment I have a friend is the moment we adopt this principle together, because I at least have someone who needs it. I don't need it. I don't need to get close to people who have things. It's not going to be beneficial to me. But it's with another friend. There's a reason to just visit every business we can possibly afford. Explore the world, because, like, we're not going to explore the internet together. That's not going to be easy. But what is easy is to explore the culture that is available around us. So that's everything would shift if I had a friend. So at least I have to be ready. That's an important skill. Be ready, be open-minded. That a new opportunity can open up, and it might be big. It might be life-changing. And even right now, right? I call it a vortex here, but you never know. That could be an opportunity. Maybe if you wait long enough, there's a vortex for you. As some kind of family gathering, I don't know. And technically, something similar is happening. We'll see. You will get the Vortex year report eventually.
Important combinations or insights, right? Combinations of ideas. So, but you also want to be away. Another copium thing, right? You might feel too alone, but stay away from people who have problems. They don't have things. They don't have even material things. They don't have things that make them happier. They have problems. And you might want to stay away from people like that. Like my parents, they have problems. And I would love to stay away from them as much as possible. You know, not interact with them, get angry at them, and just destroy the relationship.
That's another opportunity waiting to happen. It's almost like you have to write down all the opportunities that could happen to you because you want to be ready to take full advantage, to go full speed. Like there's a lot of stuff to do before you even have it. You have to be prepared, right? What if someone allows you to sing to the audience? Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for that talent? What if people allow you to come on stage and have a speech? Are you prepared for that? It is nice to somewhat trip yourself over of all the possibilities that could happen, and just enjoy the fantasy. Enjoy that this could happen. It's more and more likely to happen the older you get. Yes, you cannot prepare for everything ever, but you know the general events that people resonate with, so...
At the moment, it gets too close. I don't want that shit. You have problems. You don't want to solve your problems. You just have them. Those are the people. Not only they have no interest in developing skills, they don't have interest in solving their problems, which is like an automatic skill improvement, plus you're no longer a problematic piece of shit that I can't deal with. You're throwing rocks at me at this point. I don't want that shit. So yeah, focus on people who have things and don't have problems. You have to have the combination of those two things. And if you let go of someone, it's probably because they have problems. Because if they have things, they would let you know that they have it. Like, it's the easiest thing to do. I have this, and this. That's it. End of story, right? If they are even remotely your friend, they would say, I have this job, I have a kid.
Yeah, so not only you can get closer to the people who have, to places that have, but you also have to speak the language of I have this, and that. You have to simplify. What do you have? You have to be somewhat honest to people you trust. Somewhat open up of like, I have this, I have that. But of course you don't start with having problems. No one wants to socialize with people like that.
I have a strong relationship. I still have my parents alive. Like, it's so easy to tell that full story. Like, that's the easiest thing. That's why it's trendy right now. Like, it's so easy, but it's collapsing and the world is getting complicated again. Someone can say, I have a dog. All right, that's fine. I can understand that. I have a dog skateboarder, and I'm like, okay. Okay, what is like having a dog skate? I don't know. What is this? What is this? And even having a dog is actually a little bit more complicated than having a child. Having a child is more self-explanatory because dogs can be various sizes, bro, and various temperament. So it's the best thing. The best thing to lean on. If you feel like you need coping and other people have just way more things, first of all, it's mostly not true.
Yeah, you need to think long term, and this is what skills give you, boys.
Crazy. It's kind of crazy that the perception of laborers or people that do manual labor is that they're intellectually inferior to people that go on to do corporate jobs and work in the city. So all of us ran off and went to go and work in the city, uni, and all the rest of it. But are you seeing these rates? This is 2024, check a trade.
In the end, having skills was the most important thing.
Like you need coping and other people have just way more things. So, I am grateful for every single subscriber, for every single button click moment that you did to me. I'm grateful because that makes me different. That makes me better. You know, even in a world that fucking hates someone like me, I'm still able to grow. It shows that I'm just built different. I'm better than most people. Because I'm still like an NPC, but this number makes me different. I show my ability to commit to something, to pump videos out, to be liked by someone. Not everyone, but by someone. And when we unpack of like why these people subscribe, there might be profound reasons of why. And I kind of received a lot of that already. A lot of cool feedback. They come to my Discord. And, you know, I will never forget. And if I'll never forget, this shit accumulates. People have seen my work, and they wanted to contribute, they wanted to get closer, you know, and they're still there, listening to what I do. I have those subscribers, just like Mr. Beast has his subscribers, all right? Like, he has his millions, I have my singles, all right? That might be worth a million anyways. They might be just as good as a fucking million people. I don't know. But that's the thing you don't know, and that's the thing you have to let go because, well, all we have is a number, so I can feel confident that, yes, I have subscribers that are a million times worth. Whoever clicked this button, or found the button in the first place, and clicked it, they understand something that I was trying to fucking tell them, and they realized. Or I was showing them something, some kind of connection to someone else that they appreciate. There's different...
Yeah, it's not just me trying to be the biggest and the most dominant force on the platform. I actually hope to be able to give something that people appreciate and never forget.
reasons. But I feel like I always give only the reasons that matter. I only connect to things that truly matter, and that makes them much bigger subscribers than the regular ones. The regular ones are just like, oh, this guy's trendy, this guy's making good shit, let me fucking join in and get some free stuff, right? That's not a profound reason to be a subscriber. I like that shit where something clicked for a person, and they will remember for the rest of their lives. Why and when? When, which video triggered them, you know? Again, to be able to hear someone else's, like, skills. You hear my skills. To hear someone else's skills in the loud, noisy world, that's a powerful thing. And eventually, you guys will realize how powerful that is. You know, you will hear it better and better. Because my skills get louder and louder as well, obviously. I'm not going to stay quiet. The world is pretty fucking loud. And it's very demanding. Very confused of where are we going to go next. But everyone understands the turns that we're making. Everyone collectively says the right things. And it's very interesting to see, right? The world is doomed to get quieter very soon. It's doomed to shut up, basically. See, the reason why the world doesn't want to shut up is because a lot of people haven't expressed of what they have, right? They want to like show what they have very desperately. I even feel like this whole immigration thing is about a lot of cultures that have something but never could have been seen by the world because they would be having things in their own little place. But they were able to travel a great distance and now have something somewhere else. Even if it is offensive and fucking filled with crimes and all that shit. But
yeah, you have to get closer to proper social media visibility. I hate trying to justify migration, but it is what it is, guys. These people have something. Even if it's evil, even if it's bitterness, might as well spit it out and just move on with your life.
well, someone decided to make that mess. And I can try and appreciate that. Even if it's as hot of a topic as migration. And make the world so fucking noisy right now. But okay, these guys have a different culture. They might have something to offer that there might be something that I have to pay attention to, you know? There might be some mistakes that people make when they interact with these people. So, and they might just go home after they realize, yeah, you understand the point. You understand the point what we're trying to make. Because these people, the migrants, could still touch the most fundamental principles of like we have to be more friendly with each other, not just like hiss at each other because that may never end. I hiss at you, you hiss at me back, I hiss at you back, and we just going back and forth, building bitterness. Nothing fucking changes. You just go home and you don't want to cross that bridge no more. You don't want to walk that street no more. Now it brings bad memories. That you're gonna get approached by all these fucking weirdos. You don't want that shit. But it's a cultural thing. And I feel it's gonna fade away when the point has been made. You know, when most people understand. It's like, yeah, we're kind of teaching a lesson there. I don't know if you had a grip on the migration stuff, and I don't know how it's going to end. I also don't see too much of the vortex. Points even on collected like 100 Epstein is the sort of vortex that everyone is opening up, like, give me. I want that thing over there. Everyone is paying attention to that thing so badly, to the point where it makes me uncomfortable. Like, I honestly don't think it matters. We don't actually get to interact with elite people. So what's the point, right? We're not going to fucking scold them for doing wrong things. We're not going to catch them that easily. What's the point? We have to grow our power level to be able to interact with elites more often. And then we can catch them doing some shady things. And then we can start connecting them with, like, really a chain of crimes that they might have committed, right? Then we can try and pull that bad behavior towards the evidence, so to speak. But until we have the ability to do that.
Yeah, the funny thing is, if we suspect someone of doing something wrong, we actually bolster them. We make them bigger because we know they're gonna crack under pressure. But the best way to catch a criminal is to let them be themselves, am I
These are just
right?
people jumping into a vortex. They have nothing. You know, they just have problems. If you're interested into Epstein's shit, you just have problems. Like, how are you going to solve that? You can't solve that. You're just going to wait and hope and dream and get into politics yapping about nothing. Because you don't have nothing. You're just waiting to have. You're just, like, eager. The same, yeah, I think that's how the vortex actually looks like. There's a bunch of people who are eager to have something, but they will never have.
Yeah, Epstein is a good example of a vortex.
Even this, like, consumer movement of gamers, they signed a petition, but now they have to wait. See what happens. Good luck. Have fun waiting, I guess. While you could have skills and build your own games, have your own future. You know, as you're building a game, you build your own future that you're going to have. You're going to own it. All you need to know is how to make a game, and all of a sudden, you can have a game that you wanted all along. You might not have all the features, but you will have a game that you wanted. And that's cool. And, like, trust me, you can build a game that will surprise you how good it is. Just like you can paint a painting that will surprise you how beautiful it is. Like, for me,
You have to have done it, you know, even as the simplest game.
for me, all right?
Flappy
What
Bird.
about other people having things that you might want is, I don't really see them. I don't really see them that often. If they have children, I don't want to have children, okay? It's like they have a relationship, but they have this, like, a family bonding relationship that ends up in having children. So it's like, if that's the contract you guys have, I probably don't want that one. I'm not going to have a relationship that ends up in us having children. Like, shit, if we have to have both, it might as well have zero, right? Because this is a plus and a minus. Having a child is a pretty big minus, right? And this is kind of like, and it creates the mentality of, like, this is what women want. They want to, like, be able to raise a child or whatever. And most people are not going to be able to afford that shit. They're just not going to be able to afford that shit. You got to let it go. And if you can't let it go, you have problems. You have problems, okay? So plus I have a relationship, minus I have the problem of raising a child or raising an accident of that relationship. Relationships can end with accidents that don't destroy the relationship, but adds more spectators inside. This doomed relationship. Fucking hungry spectators. Those bastards. They keep asking for me to upload more and more and more videos. How dare you guys?
How dare these spectators spawn? Abortion must be legalized.
When a day comes and you have to give me in to authorities who are looking for, like, a person who's a good speaker, right? Who's a good debater. You'll point a finger at me. Maybe people will actually ask for that. Like, do you have a person like that? Have you seen a person on the internet who's able to just, talk like a normal human being without a script? Have you seen one of those people? Maybe you're going to be approached, but mostly the future is about giving you opportunities to share whatever you found valuable. Not necessarily you have, because you might not have experienced the whole thing. Maybe you bumped into a channel, but you haven't watched that many videos. You don't know these people, but, you use the opportunity and link two dots together. That shit is going to count, all right? Because people will realize, just like in dating platforms, there are things worth paying for. Trivial things like just having a friend, having a person around, that's worth paying for. Like, hey, go have some free food. Or stick around for like 30 minutes. Let's share some shit. All right, this is going to be more common. Again, the ability to buy many, many more things. And people will realize, or like rich people will realize how expensive it is to just, like, I would want to buy that, but there's strings attached. You have to get off your fucking high horse, come up to a person.
Yeah, a rich person might be able to put up a suit, but might have a hard time being normal. Appearing normal. The formal attire does not make you look normal, doesn't it? Do these rich people know how to do that? Is the real question. Or would they be too insecure?
So just like selling flowers or something and be like, hey, would you go on a date with me, please? Again, if you have problems, if you have arrogance, that will take you such a long time to just moderate.
Again, having something could make it more difficult to not have it. You might be addicted. You might be stuck. You might be clingy. People who don't have something might have a hard time having things, of course. But it's not that hard, as long as it doesn't come with too much responsibility. I can have flowers. I can have something growing in my garden. That doesn't seem like a big deal. But there's definitely a strict limit to how much I can have without losing my mind. So I'm okay with not having. All right, let's be clear about this. I'm okay. I'm okay just observing the technological improvements and being a part of that instead of worrying of where else can I spend my time, because having usually drains your time, especially having a job. Fuck that
Normalize
shit,
yourself
bro.
to appear as a normal person and not just like a fucking $10 billion monkey. Let's be honest, and it's like, is Elon Musk a normal person, or there's something in between of him and everyone else? Because he has such a fucking belly, bro. I think there's something in between. This will always get in between of you two. $100 billion monkey. Oh shit! But how do you normalize this shit? Well, you gotta do something.
Very difficult to have a relationship with someone who would have something in between. You know?
It's like if you found this
something
guy
in
in the
between.
street, would you think that guy's attractive? Do you think it's reasonable? If money didn't fucking matter, do you think it's reasonable to date someone like that? You probably.
Yeah, if he was broke, would you date someone that looks like
Well, double guess
this?
yourself. Oh shit! Like I would rather date some guy that's like younger. And end of story.
Oops.
So if you
I
have
don't
the most
know,
important thing,
man.
which is sanity, you're not gonna do stupid shit and you're not gonna get into problems.
If it wasn't trending, would you drive something that looks like this? Holy crap. And you don't even know how shitty it is until you watched every single piece of this thing crack and get tested. Man, Elon Musk is the worst.
The most important skill is holding esteem and having sanity. Sanity to hold on. Keep you away from problems. The moment these numbers stop shading people's perception of reality is the moment they will realize, like, how much money matters. How much money do you need to have for it to stop mattering, basically. I kind of had enough. I wanted the other things.
I love Cybertruck so much because people who have Cybertruck, they just lost $300,000 or something just to buy a dumpster, a movable dumpster or something. It's a piece of metal.
The moment you
Wow, you really have much less than you used to, my
want other
guy.
things, not just money, you want the world to function a little bit better, not just money. You made it. You made it to the other side of the world that does not.
So again, people who risk to have something, they are in fact risking. It is a very tough situation. Even being a part of music videos might not work out. Even having fame can just exhaust you so fucking much. We don't know none of these things because other people have it. They still have to share their stories, at least to enlighten what it's like. We got the shared story of how shitty Cybertruck is, how big of a money sink that is.
Number attached to everyone. It's brutal. It really changes our perception of people, but it shouldn't do that. We are attracted more to people who are successful despite not looking good, not doing good things. They're making money in magical ways. And the magical ways appear reputable enough to hold a CEO position and climb that ladder in, again, magical ways, but now you get to enslave and toss people around, fire people who disagree with you even. But firing people, like, just because you have the power to do that, doesn't mean that's a moral thing to do, You gotta double check that these people can find a new job. A real good boss is gonna give them time to find a new job so I can fire you with dignity. Alright, I'm giving you a month, find a new job. I need to fire you, bro. I don't like you anymore. That's a firing with dignity, not just like slap, damn, slam. I like a Sam Elon Musk. Just fucking kick you in the ball sacks. Have a fired. Don't just kick you in the ball sacks. No, come on, man. Come on, man. Have some mercy. So if you take in the grand scheme of things, the copium, or having is hard. No matter how many things you have, if you don't start with the fundamentals, problems might creep in. And whatever you have, it might become unstable, might be staked on just a few stocks, People are seeing your number and it's like, wow, you're pretty high on the leaderboard of having things. But it doesn't mean anything. And people might catch up to that of like, you could have just been scamming people, right? Why do we give you popularity in the first place? People will second guess themselves because they need power too. In the end, they need to make up and have the power to say no to all these fucking trends. They're not benefiting none of us, right? We will live through all these trends.
There's another trend on TikTok of eating a hot dog and running 100 miles. And all of a sudden, a person who was first place isn't capable of running hundreds of meters fast enough, to impress anyone. Of like, wow, we beaten this guy who eats the food the fastest, but he can't run. So if we combine these two things together, all of a sudden we can beat even the best people. So again, you can see how new trends are beating people who used to be the best. And potentially Mr. Beast is also going to be threatened by the same
They're not benefiting us
trend.
anymore. But we will have to be able to remember of how it played out. All right, was pandemic an interesting trend? No, let's not make pandemic trendy again, okay? Let's not do that. For some reason, it was pretty trendy. Should we make wars trendy? Nah, bro, let's not make war trendy. That's kind of fucking shit. Should we make inflation trendy? Should we make vaccines trendy? Ooh, don't do that one. That one kind of sucks, man. Should we make different things right now?
Yeah, we're making trends that we just don't like. On purpose,
Trends are moving
almost.
forward. Again, it's a human desperation. If you understand how humans are progressing, you would calm down and it's like, I have enough. Most of the time, you have enough of what you need to just move on to the next day. And again, if you hear me, you might have enough. Great. You hear me. Most people in the streets, they don't get to hear me. They don't understand my language. You know, English is not their language to most people. They can't have me in their ears and understand. That's already like 50% of the work done. We must not forget of how far we actually came. You know, how many people we have passed. You know, have passed. How many positions we climbed up in this competitive environment. You know, because the moment people tally the score, we might not be the first place, but we might be top 100 in 1,000 categories. And when people start tallying that shit together, they might be impressed, regardless. Even though they might have discovered you very, very late. Of like, you might not be the fastest eater in the world, you might not be the fastest swimmer in the world, you might not be the fastest streamer in the world. That apparently is a category. But, you know, you have won in like so many competitions, such good places. It's like, wow, you are a respectable man. I would love to have that.
That's the power of esteem.
Love to have that. Because potentially the most valuable things that you can have are things that most people are not gonna look at until they really dig for that shit. They really dig it. Celebrities have to have someone, you know, that gets to their level. But you can't have infinite amount of celebrities, right? And being a celebrity just puts you in a special status. There has to be like a dark horse, like a dark black star moment. The antithesis to shining is being able to be a normal human being. Being normal in a crazy world is pretty difficult, and it is worth a trophy. And again, so
That was my ending. Talking about how difficult it is to be
a nice
normal.
combination, and you belong together. You're the same power level, right? So double check.
And you are compatible together
What's your
too.
power level? What are you aligning yourself with?
Based on power level.
Who are you compatible with? Because if you're gonna find powerful people that you're compatible with, you're on the right path. You have you have a good heart. Let's put it that way. You have a big soul. Thanks for watching. Keep having things for like 2 years.